In this video, we will review how to create and enter a W-2. So after you create the tax return and enter the basic information, you will next be entering into what's known as the federal section, which is where we are currently. If you ever get lost in the return, what you can do is, if you see on the left side of the screen here, this is kind of like a overview of kind of what sections of the return we're going to be entering. And as you can see right now, we're in the federal section, indicated by that section being bold. So we're going to enter into the income part of this federal section so we can start entering in financial information. And you have two options at your disposal here. One is I want to be guided. And this is an interview type guide where it asks you questions, and depending on how you answer those questions, it'll then prompt you on what to enter and what to do next. And second is on the right, we have select my forms, which allows for more of a direct input method, so you can add the specific forms that are relevant to the taxpayer into their tax return. So I'll do that and select continue. From there, once we're inside of the income menu, you have at the very top of the list the most common form, which is W-2. So we can select and begin to create the W-2, which when you do that, it gives you the opportunity to begin entering the EIN for an employer. If this EIN was saved and used before, it'll automatically pre-populate the employer information for you in the W-2. But what do you do if you have a new EIN that you haven't entered before? Well, you're going to have to enter the employer information there. So go ahead and start with entering the employer name. And the next thing you'll have to do is enter the employer address. And once you enter the zip code, the software will pre-populate the city and state for the relevant zip code that you just input. So once that finished, the next thing we have to do is enter the wage information. So go ahead and click into box 1 and enter the wage or income for the taxpayer's W-2. And once you click enter, boxes 3, 4, 5, and 6 will auto-populate based on the tax code for this relevant taxpayer's filing status. And the next thing is we have to enter the federal tax withholding. So that's where you're going to go ahead and click into box 2 and enter that information directly as it is printed on the W-2. Now, if for any reason the information on boxes 3, 4, 5, and 6 are different, whether that be a 401k contribution or cash tip, you can override the boxes and enter the correct information, and it'll update based on the tax tables to give you the correct information. Scrolling down, you can see this looks just like the 1040, as where you can enter relevant 401k contribution or other contributions relevant to the taxpayer. Lastly, at the bottom, you can see where this is where you're going to enter state tax income information. Put the tax withheld inside there, and I can add as many states as I would like, but for this example, we'll just do one state. Now, if you have multiple W-2s, what you can do is click save and enter another, which would allow you to save the current W-2 that you're in and start a new W-2. If you have one W-2, you can continue to save and it'll take you to a W-2 wage statement list. Now, this is a similar listing that you will see throughout the program, and it'll show you various categories that are relevant, such as employee, employer, income, and tax withheld. And also there are edit and delete icons in case you need to make changes. You can also add an additional W-2 from the listing area as well. And if you notice on the right, now that we have some sort of income entered inside of the software, the refund summary or calculator to the right has also been updated. And as you enter information in the software, that will continue to be updated. On the left, now you can see under the income section, we now have an attachment for the wage statement. And lastly, if for any reason you ever need to get back to this section really quickly, just go ahead and click on W-2 wage statement and it'll bring you back directly to this page that we're at right now. And that's it. It's that simple. That's how you enter W-2 into the software.